Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GeForce Now Thursday chat. A Thursday in which we come to the end of June in terms of games coming to GeForce Now, and yet they still managed to squeeze in 9 games in the end of June, making a total of 24 games arriving in June. Quite the haul. And of course, they've revealed 14 games coming in July. Don't worry, that's not all of them. So, we're going to be talking all of that and loads of other stuff as ever on the GeForce Now chat. I welcome you with open arms. Let's roll titles. Yokoso, arigato gozaimasu. Welcome to the GeForce Now Thursday chat. As I said, I hope you are good. I do hope you are good. I hope you are well. You are most welcome. Yokoso to the show. As I said, 9 games arriving on GeForce Now this week. Plus, there's a massive Steam sale, so we're going to be looking at that, see if there's any bargains to be had and all of that. So, as ever, housekeeping out the way, please make sure you hit those likes because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you, just like you, find amazing content like this. And of course, if you are new here, wandering past, looking in the shop window, curious, hey, I tell you what, why don't you hit that subscribe button, toggle that notification bell? That way, you'll know when I go live with shows just like this. So, housekeeping out the way. There we are. Put that over there. That's done. Right. As ever, it is the Thursday night. Is it? No. It's the GeForce Now Thursday chat. Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be chatting. But I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I want to hear your chat. And we have the chat there. So, get it in there. We've got people in there all chatting away already. Let us know what games you've been playing this week. Of course, we're going to be most interested in which games are of interest to you in the games announced this week. And the 14 games or so announced for July. Yes, there is another Microsoft game in there, albeit, spoiler alert, albeit Age of Empires. So that's 3 Age of Empires. We're missing one. Well, not number 1. We're missing actually Empires 2. But you know what I mean? We are missing an Age of Empires, but I'm sure that will be coming. But were you expecting more Xbox games? Xbox PC games? We were promised some months ago, and I get it. I saw somebody in one of my comments saying, I'm getting impatient. And I get it. It would... But part of me just thinks we're going to have a flurry. Trust me on... Well, don't trust me on it. It's just a gut feeling, yeah? I'm just reading the runes. I'm reading the room. I'm reading the runes. And I'm reading the room. Conversations I'm hearing. Little hints. Little taps of the nose. I don't know. Suggests. Little cheeky smile. Yeah? Suggests that there may be news in July. That's all I'm saying. It's a gut feeling. I'm picking up the vibes. No guarantees. It just could be something in the water. Who knows? Anyway, let's see who's the early birds, who's in the chat and all of that. I'm going to call you WLT. He wants to know, where's Flight Simulator? Of course, the new one's not out until next year. Flight Simulator 2024. So wait for that one, I reckon, because that's the one that's going to be probably utilizing the power of the cloud and things like that. Neil J is in the house. Lovely to see you. Peter Bates. I won't say it's Master Bates in the house. You've probably heard that a million times. Peter Bates is in the house. Case Ball, good to see you. And Jay Smith is in the house as well. Hey, did anybody see? We'll touch on the FTC. I did hammer it a lot on the Xbox Monday Night Chat, and I haven't really been paying attention today because I'm saving it all for Monday. But there was that massive leak of a kind of badly redacted document from Sony. Somebody used a Sharpie or something like that rather than a proper kind of dark black ink to redact the information. Usually what they do is they put literally put strips over it, like strips of paper, photocopy back in the day, and then photocopy that. But somebody had actually sort of used a felt tip pen, and so the real numbers could still be seen from the right angle, as it were. So check this out. Sony accidentally reveals Call of Duty is worth $800 million to PlayStation alone. Nearly $1 billion. Wowza. Yeah? No wonder they say they need it to invest in their first-party exclusive titles, like Horizon Zero West, which apparently cost $212 million, also leaked because of bad felt tip pen. And The Last of Us, I think, was about 250 million or something like that. I think it was a figure like that. Crazy numbers. I mean, these are movie numbers, aren't they? But kind of we know that big games spend the same amount of movies. They make as much, if not more, than movies. I mean, look at Call of Duty. It's raking in the equivalent of a blockbuster movie just for PlayStation alone. So if PlayStation is making $800 million, they're getting 30%. Yeah, so do the maths, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do how much is Activision Blizzard getting? If 30% is worth 800 million, God, you think about it like that. I mean, is Microsoft paying enough? Are they paying enough? That's a hell of a lot. Anyway, we'll be touching on all sorts of things like that, as ever. So I think without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to crack over to Clive. Clive, are you ready? Sure. We're going to crack over to Clive, and he's going to give a rundown of the games, and then we'll jump to the Steam store, check out what's happening in the sale. Clive, ready? It's over to you, Clive. Thanks, Clive. So as we round off June, we get 9 games this week, which makes it 24 games for the month, which is quite a haul. But are there enough games of quality or games that you are looking for? Let us know in the chat. But today is going to be a bumper edition, because not only those 9 games rounding off June, we have 14 titles, 14 titles coming in July. So without further ado, better roll up my sleeves and let's crack on. One Lonely Outpost is a brand new release on Steam. Hey, even Alien World sometimes needs a farmer's touch to bring it to life. In this sci-fi colonization life sim, terraform a barren world, turn wastelands into verdant landscapes while exploring, farming, building, and unlocking all the mysteries of this strange new planet. Farming RPGs are becoming increasingly popular, and One Lonely Outpost is one of the latest games to join the genre. This game aims to stand out from the crowd by, of course, adding new mechanics and deviating from the traditional formula. The game's graphics and music transport players to a kind of cozy sci-fi world where they can relax and farm to their heart's content. AEW Fight Forever. Yes, fight fans. AEW Fight Forever is a new wrestling game developed by Ukes. It combines the nostalgic arcade wrestler feel with innovative all-elite wrestling finishes and tandem offense moves. AEW features some of the biggest legends to enter the ring, plus a stable of brand new, high-flying AEW talent. AEW Fight Forever brings the best of the best from the talent roster together in one game, with tag team matches that feature sequences of team maneuvers performed with simple commands. There's a deep career mode, wrestler customization, signature AEW arenas, and more match types than you can count, including some good old-fashioned, unsanctioned fun. Rounding off the rest of the week, we see Darkest Dungeon and Darkest Dungeon 2. Darkest Dungeon, of course, is a challenging gothic roguelike turn-based RPG about the psychological stresses of adventuring. You recruit, train, and lead a team of flawed heroes against unimaginable horrors, stress, disease,
and the ever-approaching dark.
Can you keep your heroes together when all hope is lost? And more of the same with Darkest Dungeon 2, more of that roguelike role-playing fun, smash hit gothic horror RPG. Yes, Darkest Dungeons 2 will test your mettle and drive you to the brink of madness. Arm yourself with purpose and provision your party for the journey ahead.
It will be arduous.
Derail Valley next, where you drive massive trains through beautiful, challenging natural environments. Make deliveries of cargo between various industries spread across a vast open world. Earn money, buy new licenses, and advance your career as a train engineer, all in a seamless, emergent playthrough. Choo-choo! Age of Empires Definitive Edition, the first of Age of Empires games, is the pivotal real-time strategy game that launched a 20-year legacy and returns with modernized gameplay, beautifully updated with all new 4K visuals. We're still waiting for Age of Empires 2, but just watch this space. I Am Fish is a charming physics-based adventure starring 4 intrepid fish friends, forcibly separated from their home in a pet shop fish tank. Swim, fly, roll, and chomp your way to the open ocean in a bid for freedom and to reunite once again. Golf Gang can be described as a racing game. It's a party game. It's the fastest game of mini-golf you'll ever play. Blend precision with speed to dominate in 8-player online mayhem or your solo speedruns. And finally, rounding off June, we have Contraband Police. Yeah, you take over the duties of a border guard inspector in a communist country of the 80s. Smuggling, corruption, and forgery are the order of the day here. Be vigilant and earn the respect of your superiors. So those are the games for June. And don't forget, the Steam Summer Sale kicks off this week, and there'll be many supported titles in the GeForce Now library that are going to be available for cheap. Keep an eye out for promotional updates right in the GeForce Now app, which of course now handily tells you what's being discounted. So on to July, and kicking off, we have an absolutely classic and well-respected game. Yes, fans of Square Enix, rejoice, as we have not only OCTOPATH TRAVELER 1, but OCTOPATH TRAVELER 2. Yes, hold on to your controllers, fellow adventurers. The gaming gods have blessed us once again as the legendary OCTOPATH Traveler series from the masterminds at Square Enix makes its grand entrance onto GeForce Now in July. Embark on a journey like no other as you step into the shoes of not one, oh no, but 8 intrepid travelers, each with their own enthralling tales to tell. Traverse the sprawling, enchanting world of Austera, where every nook and cranny is brimming with secrets waiting to be uncovered. Engage in pulse-pounding battles where every decision you make weaves the very fabric of your story. There are side quests, thrilling combat, and choices that shape the destinies of our heroes. This is role-playing at its finest. And if that's not enough, there's more with OCTOPATH 2, which sails into uncharted waters with the mystical land of Solistia, a realm where eastern and western continents are divided by the roaring seas. It's set in the aftermath of the first game, and OCTOPATH 2 introduces us to a brand new band of 8 travelers, each hailing from a distant land and wielding unique abilities that will leave you spellbound. So ready your gear, sharpen your swords, and let the adventure begin. Also arriving in July, we have The Legend of Heroes, Trails into Reverie. 3 different legends are about to unfold, determine the fates of Reen Swartzer, Lloyd Bannings, and the mysterious Sea in this climactic chapter of the Legends of Heroes series. It's very similar to the Trails of Cold Steel series. The game is a traditional JRPG with turn-based battles. Jagged Alliance 3 arrives on July the 14th. Yes, the long-awaited game is sprinting down the pipeline, crafted meticulously by the experts at Haemimont Games. With the countdown ticking for its electrifying release this July, it's set to become a homecoming for Windows gamers. This isn't just a sequel, it's a triumphant return. Yes, the first mainline entry in the beloved Jagged Alliance series since the iconic Jagged Alliance 2 way back in 1999. Welcome to a gameplay experience that will get your heart racing. It's all played from a bird's eye isometric perspective. Jagged Alliance 3 is a turbocharged, turn-based strategy game where you call the shots, commanding a diverse team of mercenaries with rich backstories and infectious personalities. This adrenaline-packed ride features a whopping lineup of 40 mercenaries, including fan favorites like Vicky Waters, Ivan Dolvich, and Fidel de Haan. It's not just about the brawn, though. Brains play a big part too, with the option to fine-tune weapons and even target specific enemy body parts. Beat the bad guys and pillage their resources. Every victory helps you get stronger. Xenonauts 2 arrives on July the 18th, so buckle up, commanders. Prepare to spearhead an exhilarating global resistance against an uninvited alien invasion. You're going to orchestrate high-stakes, turn-based tactical battles, construct a clandestine network of bases around the globe, and personally take the reins of your fighter wings. Your objective? To pull off an epic strategic victory in a simulation of asymmetrical warfare against a technologically superior adversary. Roll out the red carpet for Xenonauts 2. It's a high-octane strategy game that thrusts you into the heart of the action, leading a diverse multinational military organization. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is the total elimination of an extraterrestrial menace. Viewfinder now. Yes, challenge perception, redefine reality, and reshape the world around you with an instant camera. Viewfinder is a new single-player game which offers gamers hours of interesting and fun experiences while uncovering the mysteries left behind. This one's a strange game, I have to admit. Tectonica now. Tectonica is a first-person factory automation game set beneath the surface of an alien planet. Work alone or in co-op to build factories, gather resources, research new technologies, mold the destructible terrain, establish a base of operations, and uncover the long-forgotten secrets. Remnant II, like its legendary predecessor, is a third-person shooter that pays homage to the relentless challenge of Souls-like video games. You'll be stepping into a battlefield equipped with 2 guns and your trusty melee weapon. This ain't a one-size-fits-all world, baby. Oh no, from the get-go, you can handpick your character's archetype, tailoring your combat style to your heart's desire. While the first game introduces to the thrill of procedural generation with variable level layout and enemy spawn points, Remnant II dials up the unpredictability. Gunfire games here promise a veritable rollercoaster of surprises, from diverse enemy types to atmospheric regional aesthetics, daunting boss characters, enigmatic non-playable characters, and even a storyline and quests that are randomly generated. Engines at the ready, people, with F1 Manager 2023. The intense world of Formula One comes alive for a new season of F1 Manager 2023. There are 23 races, 6 sprint events, new cars, new recruits, including the Las Vegas Strip Circuit. There's new drivers, new challenges. Your legacy begins here. Ember is a popular fun game I remember from my Stadia days. You fight fires for fun, and you profit in this unpredictable and frantic multiplayer game. Team up with friends, take on daily challenges, climb to the top of the corporate firefighting ladder. More than one way to become a hero. It's a fun game and a bit of a laugh, especially if you're playing with friends. MotoGP 23. Yes, open the throttle, pass your opponents and cross the finish line. Live the dream of being the next champion with the new MotoGP 23. More amazing and challenging than ever before. Two-wheel racing takes a little bit getting used to, in my opinion, but you can live the dream of being the next champion with the new MotoGP 23 with a bit of practice. Compete in 3 official championship categories, MotoGP, Moto2 and Moto3, and step into the shoes of your favourite rider and head to the track to experience the adrenaline of the 2023 season. Need more two-wheel action? Well, you got Pro Cycling Manager 2023 next. Manage a team of professional cyclists, control the budget, recruit young talent, train riders, and diverse race strategies. Jostle for position to reach the top of the world rankings. Start at the very bottom or in charge of a World Tour team. Choose from 80 professional teams based on your preferred style and strategies. Contend with the attacks of the best peloton riders in over 260 races and 700 stages of the cycling calendar. From the very first race of the season to the last, your opponents are always over your shoulder. And more two-wheel action and wingsuit action and snowboarding action. Yeah, Riders Republic, which was previously available via Ubisoft, is now coming to Steam. As I said, it provides more two-wheel fun and snowboard and wingsuit stuff. Yeah, jump into a massive multiplayer playground, bike, ski, snowboard, or wingsuit across an open-world sports paradise. And finally, rounding up July, we have Starship Troopers Extermination, a first-person sci-fi action shooter and part of the larger Starship Troopers franchise, and developed and published by Offworld Industries. The game features cooperative gameplay in which the player assumes the role of a trooper. There are 3 trooper classes: assault, support, and defense. Meanwhile, there are 5 types of bugs or aliens: drone, warrior and gunner, plasma grenadier, and tiger elite. There's also a ping system included, similar to the one included in Titanfall, to assist with player-to-player communication. So there you go. 24 games ended up coming to GeForce Now in June, and we got 14 at least coming in July. Which of those, if any, tickles your fancy? Let Clive know in the live chat. And on that note, it's back to Clive in the studio. Clive, back to you. Thanks, Clive. Much appreciated. So there we go. Let us know what you think. That is a list of the games coming this week, plus the games announced for July. 14 games announced in July. I guess the big one in terms of gaming or popularity or respected is Octopath 1 and Octopath Traveler 2, highly respected games in their respective genre. I've not played it, but it never really quite caught my fancy. But I know that it's highly respected, so that's a big shout out there for Octopath Traveler 2. And as we'll see later, it's actually in the sale. This game traditionally tends to be quite expensive, I always find. I don't know why that is. It may be Japanese translation. Don't know, but it always seems to be expensive. So if you're going to get it, if you're interested in getting it, now is the time to get it, because it's 25% off in the Steam sale, and we'll check that out later. I Am Fish, 70% off in the sale. So there's some bargains to be had. Some of these games seem to tally very nicely with the Steam sale. 75% off and fun games for kids. Very cool. Skateboard is also coming to Riders Republic. That's interesting, yeah. I mean, most Riders Republic, though, is like rough terrain. Unless they put in a skate park specifically. I could do with a nice skateboarding game. I do miss them. Right, let's check out the yeah, so in the chat, let me know what, if any of those games are of interest to you, or as you know, Pernille, somebody you know. Yeah, OCTOPATH TRAVELER. Absolutely, as I say, it's highly respected game. Right, we're going to check out the sale. There we go. So, as I said, look, OCTOPATH TRAVELER 2, 25% off. That's not bad for this game, because again, it's still quite expensive, but it's not bad, because I happen to know this game always seems to retail quite a lot. About 50 quid isn't bad. I remember it was on Stadia and it was like 59 quid, OCTOPATH. Yeah. Grounded, of course, also on GeForce Now. $20.99. That's not bad, is it? And Void Train, I think it was a game from earlier in the month, $21.24. Looking through these. They already had skate parks. That's what I was thinking they do for their BMX, don't they? So they can just stick the old skateboards on that. Why not? Indeed. Old school Final Fantasy there. That's not in the sale, though. Sea of Thieves, $17.49. Get it on Game Pass. Let's have a look. Stray, I'm tempted. Hogwarts, still, see, Hogwarts, 20% off, still 40 quid. I'll wait for that one. DLC, some of the games I've already got. Look, Hunter Voice, £1.86. Really? Hunter Voice, oh God. Some DLC, catch up on a bit of the old Destiny 2. I never did get The Witcher Queen. It's only $9.99. Beyond Light, I think I had that one. But Witcher Queen, I never did get around to getting at $9.99. That's not bad. Now, interesting Power Wash here. I was sure I was making a joke about Power Wash. What's it? SpongeBob? Power Wash. Oh yeah, it's a SpongeBob Power Wash. Anyway, I actually got my Power Wash out. That's not a euphemism. Cheeky in the back. No, I got my water jet cleaner thingy. My high pressurized water cleaner to clean some paving at the back of my garden that I discovered. I'm always discovering things. And it came up right nice, and it's very therapeutic. So I take it back. I can see why people might quite enjoy playing Power Wash Simulator on the PC, because I was playing it in real life. So there we go. Oh, Stray is coming to Xbox in August, so might be worth holding off on, or at least checking. It's going to Game Pass, of course, yes. There was a rumor that it was going to Game Pass. Yeah. Would it come to Game Pass? Interesting, that one, because it was originally a sort of Sony exclusive, wasn't it? Steam Deck sale really caught my attention. Yeah, I noticed there's a whole oh look, Square Enix. Final Fantasy there, OCTOPATH TRAVELER 2. Now that's more like it. $74.98. That's the right price. So what was I looking at? That's more like the price I'm used to seeing for OCTOPATH TRAVELER. £74, you know, nearly 75 quid. So 53% off, absolute bargain. And Power Wash, $15.99. Yeah, I don't need the simulator. I do it in real life. Very therapeutic. Came up my path came up a right tweet. Oh, here we are. So Octopath Traveler, $24.99, and Octopath Traveler 2, $34.99. So yeah, if you're curious, it might be worth diving in for that one, for the first one. There's tons in the sale. That's just the Square Enix sale. So plenty of stuff, I think, to keep people interested in terms of sales, bargains to be had, and all of that. On some news now. Baldur's Gate 3 is being brought forward. August the 3rd. So apparently it was due like the 30th of August. And then the second date there, I think, is for PlayStation or the consoles. But for PC, they're bringing it forward to August the 3rd. I think the reason is to avoid all the Starfield chatter that will be around at the beginning of September. So they want to avoid that window. So Larian, or it is he, announced that Baldur's Gate will be bringing it forward. Steam Deck's redundant while I have a GeForce Now. Yeah, it's never really interested me, the Steam Deck, to be honest. That's not to say I know people love it and the Rogue Ally and all of that, but yeah, not for me at the moment anyway. So yeah, I just thought I'd share that. Baldur's Gate is coming early. Let me know if you fancy getting Baldur's Gate. Just sharing this. Oh yeah, this some of the games coming, of course, in July. Remnant II looks quite interesting, I must admit. Of the games in July, I'll let you know what I like. So Remnant 2 and where's it gone? Starship Troopers Extermination. They're the ones that are ringing my bell, as it were. Let me know which ones are ringing your bell. And you can't see behind my head. Well, it's all right. They swap around. Don't worry. So Remnant 2 looks really interesting. Some really interesting kind of creatures and characters in that game, and a bit of kind of shooty bang bang, but in a kind of weird and wonderful way. Just thought I'd share that with you. Now, this is very interesting. So, this sort of surprised me, actually. AMD is partnering with Starfield. So, you know, we usually have it like NVIDIA partner with loads of big PC games, and then they go in to kind of maximize and get the most out of kind of, you know, NVIDIA graphics cards, and, you know, use DLSS 3 and, you know, all of that kind of RTX kind of ray tracing and everything that sort of NVIDIA graphics cards push. And often you see, you know, big PC games team up with usually, you know, with NVIDIA, but Starfield, which is clearly, you know, clearly going to be one of the biggest games of the year, I'd argue. So it seems that Bethesda Games and Studios are signing up with AMD on this one. So let me know what you think about that, because I know it sort of caused some sort of consternation amongst the gaming Twitterati. You know, why isn't it NVIDIA? I mean, it's an Xbox PC game that we think is more than likely going to be coming to GeForce Now anyway. So, you know, what does it matter? But I just thought it was interesting. AMD is Starfield's exclusive. That's interesting. Exclusive PC partner. So can it come to GeForce Now? I mean, it's going to be on Xbox Game Pass, obviously, and Xbox Game Pass PC. And Xbox Game Pass PC is coming to GeForce Now. AMD is Starfield's exclusive PC partner. AMD has worked with Bethesda to optimize Ryzen and Radeon 7000 series CPUs and GPUs for Starfield. Bethesda has AMD engineers in our code base working on FSR2 upscaling support for both Xbox and PC. Interesting. Would like to watch others play Starship Troopers. It does look fun. It does look fun, indeed. Check my messages. Some more Baldur's Gate updates as we speak. I'm getting fed information here. 170 hours of cinema. Now, I did try Baldur's Gate. I've got Baldur's Gate. I tried it out. I struggled. I sort of get the basic principle, but I find some of it a bit fiddly. I couldn't revive myself or work out how to get a buddy to revive me in this sort of turn-based operation. So I didn't get too far in it. I managed to beat some sort of characters and creatures, but then I sort of got lost. Yeah, it's not my sort of thing, but I gave it a go. And maybe if I do it with someone else, you know, if I play Baldur's Gate with a more experienced person, they can sort of guide me through it. I was sort of playing semi-blind, I'd say. I'd seen some people play the intro, and so got a rough idea of what you're meant to do. But I think it helps because there's no massive clues. When you play the game, if you play it with somebody who's a bit more experienced. It's always like, I used to really enjoy when I played Sea of Thieves a lot, and then you get a newbie on. And I used to really enjoy, you know, showing them the ropes, to use an analogy, which is the perfect analogy, because it's a sailing analogy. I used to really love, you know, showing newbies on Sea of Thieves the ropes and taking them to see interesting things and getting them to do stuff and get that enjoyment that I first got when I first sort of found something out. Yeah, I remember because the first time I was on, when I started playing Sea of Thieves early days, there were always people who kind of get a bit advanced than you. And I didn't even know there was, this is how bit dumb I was, I didn't know there was like in-game chat. And so I was playing and all of a sudden a voice came to me. It came to me in my head. And it kind of freaked me out because I was thinking, what? I wasn't used to this. And then it goes, do you need any help? And I was like, what? And then this character comes up to me and says, do you need any help? You know, and then we started sort of playing Sea of Thieves and sailing together and having a laugh. And then he'd find the weeping chest. If you know Sea of Thieves, it's a nightmare. He goes, you know, oh, no, the drunken chest. And he goes, no, you pick it up. You pick it up. And you pick it up and you get all drunk and all that kind of stuff. And you get that experience. And it's really great to be able to share that with somebody. So again, with Baldur's Gate, I digress. With Baldur's Gate, I think if I went back to it, I'd want to play it with somebody else who can kind of help me, guide me through it. But anyway, 170 hours of cinematic, 2 million words of dialogue. I tell you what, machine learning AI will help them out. I bet they're kicking themselves now. That would be so much easier for a game like this to to utilize that AI that I talked about that Nvidia actually were developing, and they did that sort of demo set in a sort of cyberpunk bar world. That technology would be ideal for a game like this. 1,000 characters, more cinematic dialogue than all 3 Lords of the Rings novels. Ooh! 600 spells and actions, 60 frames per second on PS5, 12 classes, 46 subclasses, romance, almost all camp companions. M'lady. So yeah, and of course this is the finished version, as much as you can get a finished version. This is the finished version, so yeah. Just thought I'd share that with you. You did indeed just send some. We've done it. Yes, I was thinking that when I was saying it. AMD do provide the chips for Xbox consoles. Maybe development on AMD is preparation for Gen 10 hardware, and or just keeping up that relationship from both parties, isn't it? You know, if you're AMD, you want to be the chip of choice for the, you know, Gen 10, don't you? So you keep up that relationship where you can. I think you need to play Baldur's Gate 3 with someone who knows what they're doing. I agree, absolutely, Neil. I totally agree. I think it helps. I think it does help. I sidetracked there for a minute in Twitter. It happens. So one of the things that's come out of the FTC, and I'm not going to talk about it too much, is that Activision's approach to subscription services and or cloud gaming. And Bobby Kotick of Activision Blizzard was basically saying, you couldn't pay me enough money to put Call of Duty on a subscription service. Well, clearly you can pay him enough money. It's $70 billion. But given that the leaks of, and, you know, people are like going, well, that's, you know, a bad attitude. He's never going to get far, you know, it's going to be losing out on sales and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, when you see how much money Call of Duty is making PlayStation, as we revealed earlier, $800 million. That's just PlayStation. He knows people are willing to shell out, you know, 50 quid plus every year, or whatever it is, whatever the cycle is, for the next Call of Duty, plus all the in-game purchasing. So why would he devalue that sales? It's a different equation for different people, for different games and different publishers. If you're not sure how well your game's going to do, you might be happy to take the money up front. Xbox, just for their Xbox Game Pass, I don't think they pay a performance on a performance basis. There may be a bit of performance, but mostly it's just upfront payment. Here, take this wad of cash, keep that. That's guaranteed in your pocket, and we'll take, you know, a 12-month license for Game Pass or whatever it is. Yeah? If you're a smaller game or a new game or a new IP or a smaller developer, you'd go, well, do I gamble with the sales or do I take the money? You know, a bird in the hand is worth 9 in the bush, as they say. So from business point of view, in that scenario, Game Pass, subscription service of some sort, money up front, guaranteed, is ideal. Then you have the extreme version, which is Call of Duty. Like, you get it. What people are willing, or FIFA, people are willing to shell out for that every year without a question. Boom, here's my cash. Boom. Why would you cannibalize that? Why would you cannibalize that by, you know, you couldn't take enough money to balance that off. Yeah, the sales you'd lose on the basis that you make tons of sales, you couldn't balance it off. So you can understand, you know, Activision Blizzard's, you know, is a business. They're there to make money. Why they wouldn't necessarily go on a subscription service, because no one could pay them enough. Unless, of course, You buy the company. What was that old shaver advert? Ronson, was it? Ronson. I was so impressed with the shaver. I bought the company. Be the catchphrase. Is it Ronson? I can't remember now. So impressed with my shave, I bought the company. Yeah. So apparently you can get enough money to put it on Games Pass. It costs, as I say, 70 billion. Aliens Dark Descent would be a great twin-stick shooter co-op 4-player. Yeah. Why would Microsoft put it on Game Pass if they want to recoup their investment? Well, they... yes, it's true. But they will, because they have a principle. It's part of their principle of putting the things on Game Pass. It's their game. They put them on Game Pass. So actually, yeah. They think, from their point of view, it's all up. They're not taking the money up front. To them, they can factor in marketing budget, if that makes sense. There's a certain amount of money to be spent on marketing. And you can reduce that, and you can stick it on Game Pass, so you're saving some money there. But yeah, you can see how valuable actually when you put it in that. I'm just now I've sort of explained it out loud. Actually, you can see what value it is to Xbox. Put it on Games Pass. It will be, I think, a loss leader for them. Which anything where a company does something which is at its heart a significant loss leader in order to do damage or to gain an advantage over another company, you are skirting into the realms of anti-competitive behavior. So you kind of see it. It's interesting. Saves me 80 quid if it comes to Game Pass. Indeed. Yep. Phil said it's an asset. Put your money safe somewhere. Yeah, exactly. The point is, the value of the value, they can offset the sales that they would potentially lose by putting it on Games Pass by the increasing value in the company that they've bought. So that's another way. There is money that they'll be making. They'll be making profit. Arguably, if Sony are making $800 million, right, which is 30%. I was going to do the maths. Don't want to embarrass myself. See if I can do it quickly. Think about that. What did I say? 800 million divided by 30 times by 70. Yeah. Okay. So if Sony is making $800 million at 30%, it's not even 30%, is it? It's 25%. 25%, isn't it? 800. Let's call it 800. 800 divided by 25 times 75. 2.4 billion. So Activision Blizzard make $2.4 billion just off Sony sales. So if Xbox buys Activision Blizzard, they'll make $2.4 billion. So they can afford to put it on Game Pass. Plus, it has the double benefit for Xbox in that hopefully it does actually reduce the number of people who buy it. on PlayStation, and thus slightly detrimental to a competitor. So you know, now I'd say that's business. You're buying an asset that you're buying a company that gives, what was it? Wasn't a figure. That is going to get a competitor to effectively pay you $2.4 billion. That's got to hurt Sony. You put it in that context, it's not Activision Blizzard, although they're going to say they're going to keep the company sort of separate. It's still under the mothership of Microsoft if the deal goes through. So whilst Sony will be happy making their $800 million, they won't be happy knowing the $2.4 billion of dollars as a result of the sales on their platform is going to a competitor. Oh, that's got a sting. No wonder Jim Ryan's upset. When you put it in that context, it all makes sense when you're sitting down and do the maths. It'll draw millions. It will move the needle. It certainly will move the needle. There's not many games that will move the needle in terms of subscribers. I mean, even if you think on Netflix, what does it take for you to subscribe? I mean, if you look at Disney, I mean, they own so many big brand and IPs. You know, they've got your Marvel, your Pixar, your Disney, your Fox. I mean, that's why they grew so quickly, because they had so much big quality stuff. But what's the one thing that's made you on a subscription service go, right, take my money? Like one thing, like maybe Stranger Things. Yeah, like when it got to about the third or fourth series, everyone talking about it. But the only thing in gaming I could think on that level that would make you, you know, I think that would move the needle in large numbers would be something like Call of Duty or FIFA, something like that. Imagine if FIFA. Yeah, it's interesting when you start doing the maths. It's like buying gold. Or they do it because they can. I've got some gold. I bought some gold. And it's legit gold as well. I have a special bank card I can pay for things in. So like a credit card, it's not a credit card, it's like a payment card. But it has gold. That makes sense, yeah? So it stores gold on it. Am I making sense here? So if I use it, I don't, because I keep as a sort of to keep the value in the money as an experiment. But yeah, if I buy something with this cash card, this payment card, I'm actually paying for my coffee or whatever it is in gold. Arr. And it's real gold. Arr. Pieces of 8. Yeah? It's actually, and it's kept. You are assigned some gold, and it's actually, your gold is kept in a safe in Switzerland. And in theory, you could go over there and have a look at it. Not that you would, it'd be too expensive to do. But, yeah, anyway. I don't know why I was talking about that. My gold. Oh, yeah, because you were saying buying gold. Yeah. If you're interested, it's called Glint. I love these sort of things. Let me just see. Yeah, Glint Pay allows you to pay in gold. Arr. Yeah. Gold as money. You get like a payment card. Buy, save, and spend real gold instantly with glint. So if you don't trust the banks, if you don't trust your currency and you don't trust your cryptocurrency, put your money in gold. Yeah. That is not financial advice, I hasten to add. And you can use gold every day, and you can act like a 21st century pirate. Arr. Pieces of 8. I just love that. I just love that concept of being able to pay for coffee with gold. Arr. It is until 2025 version anyway. Yeah. If anything, Sony is anti-competitive. Well, exactly. I mean, the maths, the business maths I've been talking about equally apply to, activities. It's business. And I guess the FTC and the CMA have just got to decide where aggressive business, I mean, gaming industry is aggressive. That's why companies go bust. That's why, you have burnout, poor developers, because they've got to hit certain target dates, because the pressure is to, deliver a hit product during the hit season or during a key, it's an aggressive business. It's, bigger than the film industry in terms of its revenue. So you're going to get aggressive companies because there are, as we have seen with Activision Blizzard, we're just talking Call of Duty. And we're just talking Sony. What Sony makes Activision Blizzard for Call of Duty. One game. Was it $2.4 billion? That's one game. That's just off PlayStation. Now, so what? So Xbox is going to probably be significantly lower than that. Say it was a third. That's 2.4. A third of that is 800,000. So that's $3.2 billion. Just 3.2 billion. I don't think Xbox is paying enough. Because that's just one game. Unbelievable how big Call of Duty is. You can see Severance 2 will give... Yeah, we are. You see, exactly. That's why, these companies, your Apples and your Netflix and Amazons invest in these big series like The Boys on Amazon or Stranger Things, Squid Games 2. Yeah, exactly. Every time you buy a coffee, some Swiss guy goes and shaves a bit of your gold bar. That's exactly right. That's it. Exactly right. Yeah. My partner, she got given some gold, actually gold sovereign, by a relation of hers as a sort of a thank you. Just gave her some gold sovereigns. Like some kind of pirate. She bought it round. And it was a sovereign. I didn't bite it. I thought it was a bit rude, but it was like you could feel it. Like, oh my God. Yeah. I love that I was here for that moment. I thought, yes. Exactly. That's why it's worth 300 plus AA development budgets. Exactly. It's when you do the maths, it's crazy. It's crazy money. No wonder they say, like people are like, surprised when you go, oh yeah, well, like back in the day, even like when I was, when I was working in the gaming, in the business side of gaming, you used to say, oh, it makes more money than the film, than film and the film industry. And people just go, nah, because you still see gaming as niche. But like Halo sold like 50 million copies. I seem to remember over a weekend. And that was like back in the day. And that was what, 30, 40 quid, 50 quid over a weekend. So Halo made more than the biggest blockbuster, I think that year, than any blockbuster made that year in a weekend. Halo made it. And 50 million sales, just like that. Boom. So, and that was, that was what, 20 years ago, whatever it was. I'm old. So, yeah. it still surprises people when you go, yeah, the games industry makes more money than the movie industry. Crazy. Hey, Crow, good to see you. Nidal, good to see you there. Lovely to see you in the house, sir. Bro is bad games this month and next. I don't know. You know, it's one man's bad game. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Are there any kind of massive blowaway games? Big AAA games? No. I would agree with you. But, you know, Octopath Traveler is a much respected, highly respected game, as I said. Age of Empires, highly, you know, long respected game. But yes, we want the big ones, you know, like ones that you could go to someone in the street who's not into gaming and this is the test, isn't it? And go, have you heard of, you know, Fortnite, Call of Duty, you know, and either their son or daughter or relation or brother or sister plays the game and they've heard of it. Yeah, I was on a I was in a meeting today. Can I talk about this? Yeah. I was in a meeting today with, I think he's the director of esports for Formula One, for reasons that I cannot reveal just yet. And the geezer, no, straight away, for those who've seen me without the backdrop, know that my backdrop, my real backdrop looks like a, you know, YouTuber's gamer's setup, you know, with its LED lights and Funko Pop figures and gaming merchandise and whatnot around and all of that kind of stuff. So it instantly goes, are you you know, it's lawyer to lawyer sort of thing, or lawyer to businessman. You know, are you a gamer by any chance? Yeah. And he was talking about, he's got, in his room, basically next to him, he's got like a racing rig. I mean, he's the esports director, I get it. But like, plays it for fun, but he's got a full-on racing rig next to him. Not fair. But we were talking about, you know, games that as, you know, sons and daughters and stuff, you know, kind of play and stuff like that. So I think that's the test of a big game. Casual gamers or people who know casual gamers have heard of your game. That's what my long way of saying it. I have been invited somewhere. I can't say too much yet, but it does involve Formula One or F1 2024. No, F1 2023. I was getting muddled up. F1 2023 and a sim rig. Probably Lord Kensal. Look out for that in the coming months. That's all I'm going to say. And I'll explain, or Lord Kensal will explain in more detail. I don't play Call of Duty, and I've never bought a Call of Duty. I've never bought a Call... I have, yeah. I bought it for my son in the end. Because I play the free version. I play the Warzone. We need deals with Rockstar or 2K Games. They do. Unfortunately, Nadal, I mean, Rockstar 2K are very reluctant to bring their games to GeForce Now. Why? We don't know. We've got the Xbox PC games coming. They're coming at a trickle. I have a feeling, a hunch, as I said at the beginning of the show, we might see a bit more action in July. Just a hunch. As I said, just things you pick up wave in the ether, in the conversations, behind the scenes, the winks, the nods, all of that kind of stuff. No guarantees. But yeah. So that will hopefully, when that gets sorted, what we're waiting for is the Xbox PC gaming app to be sorted. And when that's sorted, we should start seeing some action, but it's very frustrating waiting for that to happen. But you know, these things are happening in the background as far as I understand, and it will arrive when it arrives. Not sure if it's a confession or a proclamation, is what it is. I see the attraction of Fortnite for young people, but COD doesn't seem to have anything over other shooters. Yeah. It's got... I think I'd say I'm a... Apex Legends more. I like the slightly more colourful type. Although, as I said, I do like playing the Call of Duty kind of DMZ type thing that they've got with the extraction point. And it's fast, it's quick, it's furious, it's got, you know, good guns and all that kind of stuff. So I get the appeal, and I think it is a cut above. And making that amount of money, they can afford to spend a lot of money on it. But I've not really played this through the story bits. I've just played the, you know, the competition, and that, you know, you can take it or leave it sometimes. Some of the people you end up, you know, battling against and all that kind of stuff. The toxicity that just exists, but that's an unfortunate byproduct of these things. DM, if you're coming to Mercedes at Brixworth, Clive, and we'll meet up for a coffee. Indeed, indeed. It won't be Brixworth. More will be revealed in the future. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. I hope you found that interesting. I hope you found it useful. As I say, a load of games announced. Could still do with a few of those big tentpole games, couldn't we? I think they're coming. But there's some interesting games to play. As I say, Octopath, highly respected. Remnant II and Starship Troopers are the other ones I'm particularly interested in looking at in more detail and all of that. But anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for spending your Thursday afternoon, morning, lunchtime, evening, whatever it is with me, live on the GeForce Now Thursday chat. I really do appreciate it. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope life is good for you. And why not join me on the Xbox Monday Night Chat, where no doubt they will have come to the end of the FTC hearing, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it is Internet Games. The FTC hearing will have come to an end by the end of the week, so Monday's Xbox Monday Night Chat should be very, very interesting. As I said, thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Sayonara.